What if I told you that your first $20,000 could change the way you see money forever? Not because 20 grand makes you rich. It doesn't. But because something strange happens. When you finally cross that number, the way you think changes. The way you make decisions changes. And most importantly, the way you see yourself changes. Before $20,000, you're usually fighting just to survive. One unexpected bill can wipe out months of progress. But after 20,000, you finally have something most people never build. Financial leverage. You can say no. You can walk away. You can take risks. And you can finally make your money start working alongside you. But there's a catch. Because hitting $20,000 can also become one of the biggest traps in your financial journey. In this video, we're going to break down exactly what changes when you hit your first $20,000, the psychological traps that can destroy it, and how to use that money as the foundation for real wealth. So if you're currently trying to reach your first 20 grand, pay attention, because this milestone is about much more than money. Most personal finance channels lie to you. They tell you that hitting $100,000 is the holy grail. They talk about six-figure savings accounts like it's the magical finish line where all your money problems instantly evaporate. It's bullshit. The real psychological, mathematical, and lifestyle turning point doesn't happen at $100,000. It happens much earlier, right around $20,000. Up until that point, you are playing defense. Every single dollar in your account is just a band-aid protecting you from total disaster. But the moment you cross that 20 grand threshold, the game completely flips. You stop playing not to lose, and for the first time in your life, you actually start playing to win. Today we're breaking down the exact psychology, the math, and the hidden traps of what happens after $20,000, and why most people completely ruin their financial future right at this exact milestone. Let's talk about the first major shift, the death of desperation. If you have less than a few $1,000s in the bank, you are economically fragile. You are one broken transmission, one medical emergency, or one unexpected layoff away from absolute chaos. And when you live in that state of chronic panic, your brain makes terrible decisions. You take jobs you hate because you can't afford to quit. You stay in toxic relationships because you can't afford rent on your own. You accept bad loan terms because you need cash today. Desperation is the most expensive tax in the world. But when you cross $20,000, that dynamic completely breaks. Suddenly, you have a 3 to 6 month emergency buffer, depending on your cost of living. For the first time, you possess leverage. If a boss treats you like garbage, you don't have to nod and smile. You can walk out. If a client is a nightmare, you can fire them. $20,000 isn't just money sitting in a high-yield savings account. It is literally a purchased and paid-for ticket to say no. No to things you hate. No to situations that drain you. No to people who take advantage of you. That freedom changes how you carry yourself. Now let's look at the numbers, because this is where people completely misunderstand how wealth actually scales. Under $20,000, your primary financial weapon is pure raw discipline. It's grinding, cutting expenses, picking up side hustles, and manually stuffing cash into a savings account. You are the engine. If you stop working, the money stops growing. But after $20,000, the physics of your money changes. Think about it like rolling a heavy boulder up a hill. From 0 to 20 grand, every inch requires brutal, exhausting physical labor. But once that boulder crests the hill and hits $20,000, gravity takes over. If you park that 20 grand into a broad market index fund, averaging historical returns, or a solid, safe yield vehicle, it starts generating real capital on autopilot. We're talking hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars a year in passive gains. That is the exact moment psychological conditioning breaks. You realize, wait a minute, my money just made more money while I was sleeping than I did working a Saturday shift. That realization is addictive. It shifts your mindset from being an employee trading time for dollars to an allocator, deploying capital for returns. But here's where 90% of people mess it all up, because this milestone comes with a massive psychological trap, the illusion of wealth. Your brain sees $20,000 in liquid cash, and it instantly lies to you. It whispers, hey, you made it. You're good now. You deserve to treat yourself. Suddenly, you're looking at upgrading your apartment to a place with an aesthetic view. You're looking at financing a newer, slightly cooler car because your current one lacks character. You start justifying little luxuries because you feel rich. That is lifestyle creep, and it is a silent financial killer. The amateur treats $20,000 as a finish line to celebrate. The professional treats $20,000 as starting capital. If you spend that money to impress people you don't like, you instantly reset your progress back to zero. You trap yourself in a hamster wheel where every time you save a little bit of money, your lifestyle expands to swallow it whole. To actually build wealth, after 20 grand, your lifestyle must remain frozen while your investments scale. Here is a weird psychological side effect of hitting $20,000 that nobody talks about. Your social circle starts to get uncomfortable. When you're broke or living paycheck to paycheck, you blend in. Everyone around you is complaining about bills, stressing over the weekend, and living in that same reactive loop. Misery loves company, and financial chaos is a great group activity. But the moment you quietly stack 20 grand, stop complaining about money and start talking about building cash flow or cutting unnecessary expenses, something changes. You stop showing up to every expensive dinner you can't actually afford. You say no to weekend trips funded by credit cards. And suddenly, you realize who your real friends are versus who your spending friends were. The people who are going nowhere will call you boring, cheap, or obsessed. The people who are actually going to win in life will respect the discipline. Crossing $20,000 acts as an invisible social filter. It weeds out the noise and leaves you with the clarity and the company you actually need to reach the next level. Now let's talk about the deepest psychological barrier you have to break through: identity shift. Most people stay stuck because of how they view themselves. They say things like, "I'm just bad with money," or "I'm just a saver." Saving money is a great entry-level skill. It teaches you delayed gratification, discipline, and awareness. But a saver is essentially someone who hoards resources out of fear. A saver keeps cash under the mattress or sitting in a low-interest checking account because losing it scares them more than inflation destroying its purchasing power. Once you hit $20,000, being just a saver becomes a liability. Inflation will quietly chew away at that pile if you leave it sitting idle. This is the exact moment you have to evolve from a saver into an allocator. An allocator doesn't ask, "How much can I hide away?" An allocator asks, "Where does this capital work the hardest? Does it go into index funds? Does it fund a skill that increases my income? Does it buy back my time?" Shifting from hoarding cash to strategically deploying capital is the psychological wall that separates the middle class from the wealthy. $20,000 is your tuition fee to learn how to play that game. At the end of the day, $20,000 is just a number. It's ink on paper, pixels on a screen, digits in a database. But what it represents changes everything. It's the dividing line between reacting to life and running it. It's the barrier between being a stressed-out consumer trapped in a system and a calculated investor playing chess while everyone else plays checkers. If you're still fighting for your first 20 grand, stop looking at the massive mountain in front of you. Just focus on stacking the next brick. Build your shield, protect your downside, and don't let anyone shame you for being disciplined. And if you've already crossed that line, take a breath. Recognize your leverage, but do not let your lifestyle swallow your victory. Keep your expenses locked. Shift your mindset from hoarding cash to allocating capital, and watch how fast the entire game opens up for you. The question isn't whether you can make $20,000. The question is, what are you going to become once you have it? Let me know down in the comments. Where are you right now on your financial journey? Are you building your first 20K, or are you learning how to allocate it? Drop your thoughts below. Hit that subscribe button. If you like your financial advice, raw, honest, and zero BS. And I'll see you in the next one.